Hey there, welcome. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Galen. I go by Chef Galen. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, dietary health coach, and I also have written a couple books that are published on Amazon. But what I want to talk about today, okay, is really just honing in your fear. A lot of you all know that these last few months has been a very, very difficult time for me. This is actually the first time I've been able to really just jump on and really come out of myself and find a place of really just claiming who I am again. If you're someone who has gone through something really traumatic, whereas you've trusted someone and you've put your heart, soul, mind, and spirit into them, you even invited them into your sacred space of your home, you've even had them in that space of your own personal children, and they ended up not being the person that they presented themselves to be, okay? And you had to walk through all of that. You all, I just want you to know right now that there is light on the other side. I am still in a place of healing, and I know it's going to be a process because I've never experienced anything like this before in my life. I literally had no idea that this level of darkness could even enter my home, my sacred space. And I just feel like it's really important for me to share my story because there's so much shame around going through something like that, the abuse like that. And, you know, a lot of times when we're going through it and you're with an abuser, you become so confused. You don't know what's right, what's wrong. You don't know if it's me. You don't know if it's him. You don't, I mean, it just gets so crazy, so crazy. And all of you really strong, powerful women out there, we can get blindsided. I mean, I thought I had gone through it all. I thought that I could really laser in on the energy of someone, whether they were being real or not real with me. And I missed it on this one. I missed it. And I went through a lot of turmoil, a lot of guilt. It was very difficult. I have two older girls and a little guy who's extreme special needs. My oldest daughter suffered childhood cancer for 3 years, so her body is very broken down. And we were just in a really desperate place of having someone come into our life and just be that light and be that encouragement and have that synergy between, you know, me, my kids, that other person. And when you're in that space of vulnerability, two things can happen. You can draw that man into your life that will be he will be a knight. He will be a knight in shining armor, and he will lift you up, and he will encourage you, and he will be so supportive and so loving and so kind. And his heart will be all about wanting to be a blessing to you and your family, okay, through that time, while you heal, while you get back on your feet, okay? Then there's this other type of man out there that I had experienced that saw my vulnerability, saw my love for him and for his dog, and took advantage of that. And it's more than just a con artist. It's more than just a con artist. I mean, knowing that a human can do that to a single mom and her children, you know, is just like still just blows my mind. And I, over these last couple months of healing through this, I've had people be like, well, how did you not see? Why didn't you do a background check? I'm thinking, okay, let's be honest. Like, if we felt like we needed to do a background check on someone, we would have never invited them into our home. Do you know what I mean? Someone who was going through a hard time, and you felt compassion and love for that person, and yourself, you're going through a hard time. So you're figuring, oh yeah, God has this person in my life. You know, especially when they talk about God and they're going to church with you, and they talk about, like, you know, meditating with you and doing yoga, and, you know, and they're being proactive. You know, you just want to believe that. Looking back, I do see the red flags. Looking back, I do see that, you know, there was someone who was very, very broken, And I feel like there was a switch where I realized quickly, okay, this person cannot be that strength to me and my family, but I'll just pull it together and I'll be that strength for that person. But I didn't realize that they were going to really suck the life out of me, out of my entire family, that it would actually break us apart. Okay? So I wrote a book called Divinely Inspired Action about 10 years ago. It's all about reprogramming your subconscious mind for a great purpose. And I wrote this because my little sister was going through a really hard time, and she didn't actually end up making it in life. She's no longer with us. But, you know, a lot of times, especially like in the church, we're just told just to believe, just to trust. And, you know, we're so desperate for that, especially when we're in a hard place and, you know, there might be sickness going on in the family. Maybe there's financial issues. Maybe there's just relationship breakdowns and like the person just isn't getting it and you're so in love with them, you know, and the answer to just leave them is not the answer, you know. I wrote this book, there's 12 modules, and I wrote it more of a workbook because I really wanted people to have tangible skills to be able to get through life and not just to go through the religious taglines of, just believe, just believe. You know, I grew up in the church. I've done mission work all over the world. You know, it's something that I've always loved to do, that I hold very close to my heart. And you know, but then just going through my own hard times, I would always kind of be like, okay, I'm hitting a wall here. Where is God? Where is he? And so I have really some powerful transformational strategies that I work through in this book. So this is why it was another reason why I was like, I can't believe this just happened to me. I mean, I've got this book out. I teach courses on it. I've got a YouTube channel, the whole thing on, you know, really empowering yourself. And so you don't end up in the situations like this, you know. One of the chapters is overcoming fear, and when you overcome fear, when that relationship was going on every single day, I didn't know. I literally quit locking my front door because I was so scared of what was going to go on in the bedroom because I was staying on the couch at that time, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then when I finally was able to get him out, the fear just, I was shaking like a leaf 24/7. And I'm not that person. Like, even ask my family and friends, like, they're always like, girl, you know, I can't believe you're out there doing that. Like, you're, you know, don't you know something will happen to you? Because I just don't watch TV. I just, you know, have all this trust in people and things, like maybe to a whole nother level that probably I should hone that in a little bit, right? But when I was just trembling in fear, I mean, week after week after week, I couldn't sleep at night. I would go visit my family, who was very protective over me. I have very, very, very big, strong family, brothers, sisters, dads. I had family that were brothers, sisters, dads, moms, just close to everyone. And they were all even like, I can't believe you're going through this. Like, you know, like, you're falling apart. You're totally falling apart. And so when I grabbed a hold of these strategies and I took my book out and I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna overcome these fears. And so I had to shift the beliefs in my mind first. And then I had to lean into my fear, okay? And then what I ended up doing is writing down, you know, all the different desires that I had in my heart, and really just standing up straight and just being like, I'm gonna face this. And facing your fear was the most powerful component of overcoming this toxic energy that just tries to literally silence you. And that's where the enemy works. The enemy works in our silence. So I just want to tell you, I love you, and you will get through this. I promise.